It's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin with that historic deal with Iran, sparking some celebrations in Iran, but there has also been backlash here at home. It is a major victory for President Obama, saying the deal is, quote, not built on trust, it is built on verification. Tonight, vowing to veto any efforts by Congress to derail the deal. To millions of Americans, it's an agreement few could have imagined. Those images from more than 30 years ago, Americans blindfolded, held hostage at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Tonight, decades later, Iranians watching President Obama. ABC's Martha Raddatz is the only network reporter on the ground in Tehran, but we begin tonight with ABC's chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran in Vienna, where the deal was struck.
Here they are, those jubilant negotiators in their moment of triumph. You can see it on John Kerry's face.
This moment has been a long time coming, and we have worked very hard to get here.
18 days in Vienna, 2 years of high-stakes diplomacy, 6 years since President Obama first reached out directly to Iran's supreme leader, and 36 years since this. The 1979 hostage crisis, Iran holding 52 American diplomats and citizens hostage for 444 long, terrifying, humiliating days. Today, Mr. Obama charting a new course.
This deal offers an opportunity to move in a new direction. We should seize it.
Iran now agrees to sharply cut back its nuclear program that has alarmed the world by dismantling 2/3 of all its key nuclear machinery for 10 years. Reducing its uranium stockpile by 98% for 15 years, and submitting to continuous international monitoring and inspections. And the U.S. agrees to help Iran thrive by ending those crippling economic sanctions, recognizing Iran's right to even keep a peaceful nuclear program, and allowing Iran over time to buy weapons, even ballistic missiles.
This deal demonstrates that American diplomacy can bring about real and meaningful change.
Critics pounced on the deal, among the first and fiercest, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, who called it a stunning, historic mistake. But Secretary Kerry shot back in a spirited interview with us today.
The alternative is to, what, go to war immediately, bomb them, sanction them further? Well, wait, no, you can't sanction them further.
For decades, the United States and Iran have been sworn enemies, but you got the sense here today that a new era has begun, for better or worse. David?
Terry Moran in Vienna again tonight for us. And ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz, the only American network reporter in Iran, reporting tonight from one of those celebrations when word broke that the crippling U.S.-led economic sanctions will be lifted.
Good evening, David. Coming to you from the very noisy streets of Tehran, where spontaneous celebrations have been breaking out tonight, celebrating the historic deal between America, its partners, and Iran. All of these people know that those punishing sanctions will be lifted within the next couple of months, and many civilians, many of these people have suffered under those sanctions. What is even more remarkable is we're about 2 miles from the former American embassy, where in 1979, 52 Americans were held hostage for 444 days. That event changed the relationship between Iran and America for 35 years. But here we are tonight. David?
Martha Raddatz in Tehran, where some are calling this a victory tonight. Martha, thank you. It is also a major political victory for President Obama. But tonight, the fierce opposition already on Capitol Hill. Some members of Congress vowing to fight it, determined to knock down the deal. So we sent John Carl straight to Capitol Hill, where he heard an earful tonight about what they plan to do.
Walking the halls of Congress, we found Republicans unified in opposing the Iran deal. Leading the charge, freshman Senator Tom Cotton.
So what do you think of this deal? It's a bad, terrible, tragic mistake.
Cotton tried to derail the Iran negotiations back in March by writing a letter signed by 47 Republican senators and sent to Iran's supreme leader. It warned the next president could undo any agreement with the stroke of a pen. Now he says he wants Congress to kill the deal.
Okay, so what's the bottom line? How bad do you think this agreement is? It may be the worst diplomatic agreement in the history of the United States. Really? Why? Because it's putting an outlaw terror-sponsoring regime on the path to a nuclear weapon.
John Carl back at the White House from Capitol Hill. And John, Congress now has 60 days to vote on this deal?
Yes, and President Obama has said point blank today that he will veto any effort by Congress to derail this agreement. Republicans would need a lot of help from Democrats to override that veto. I would be surprised to see that happen, David, but I've got to tell you, there is a lot of Democratic concern tonight about this agreement.
All right, John Carl, Martha Raddatz, Terry Moran, our thanks to you all.